How's it going, guys? Welcome back. So I just want to say that all the candy you saw, that is actually the candy in my cupboard. I don't know why I have so much. It's kind of at a point where I have so much candy that first off, I don't know what's in there. That's the first time I've seen some of it in a while. And also, like the chips bags I think are old. I hoard candy. It's like Steam games. I have so much candy now that I don't know what to eat, so then I just don't eat anything. So it's almost smart. Anyway, so I've done a few food challenges. I only ate Snickers for a week. I tried, fasting for a week, just not eating anything. And now we're doing, this is probably the most healthy one I've done, and probably like the best idea, some would say. So I didn't eat sugar for a month, and the idea with this was that I would eat no artificial sugar as well as sugar, because people kept being like, because a big part of this challenge was not drinking any Pepsi Max, and people kept being like, oh, but that doesn't have sugar, but it's like, it has artificial sugar, which, yeah, maybe it's not as unhealthy, but I mean, it's still addicting, it's still got a bunch of properties, So, no sugar, no artificial sugar. I did eat fruit sugar, that's like basically it. And yeah, that was my idea with the challenge. So I want to explain my diet before the challenge, because I think if you set out to do this, for example, it's going to vary how you feel and what happens depending on your diet before, obviously. So I would say my diet before, contrary to having all that candy in the cupboard, I don't really eat candy much, like that often, and I don't eat chips. I haven't eaten chips in like forever. And ice cream every now and then. Like I had a Ben and Jerry's like the day before this challenge started, as you can see in my running video. And then, but yeah, my diet overall is not that unhealthy in terms of like sugary stuff. I have a lot of rice, Chinese food, where a lot of Chinese food you have to add like a teaspoon of sugar. And yeah, there's sugar in everything basically. So I was having sugar, but like pretty low on the sugar. But with Pepsi, I think right before the challenge started, I peaked in being addicted. I was drinking maybe 5 cans a day, maybe sometimes more, sometimes less, but like really, really bad. It was at a point where I was like, yep, I have a problem. So I was super addicted to Pepsi, but my actual food was pretty good, which obviously influences like how you go into it. So I would say for the first, because I was told, by the way, I've watched a few videos on YouTube, and I talked to my sister. I guess she's watched some, I don't know. But people hype it up like, oh my god, if you don't eat sugar, you're going to have like the worst sugar crashes, similar to, I guess, not drinking coffee. I wouldn't know, I don't drink coffee. But people were saying you have like the worst sugar crashes, headaches, trouble sleeping, like your world is just a nightmare. And again, maybe it's because I don't eat a lot of sugar in the first place, although, I mean, again, there's sugar in all the food we eat, which I will get to that. So, I don't know. I would say I wrote down some notes throughout the challenge because I didn't want to film anything, I'd just rather talk about the experience. So I have my notes here. But basically for the first 4 days, I was super missing Pepsi. And like, I just wanted to drink Pepsi. Sugar didn't care too much, but quitting Pepsi cold turkey was pretty bad. I was like, Jesus. And then for the first 2 to 4 days, I've written down that I felt incredibly tired, which could be due to the no sugar, but to be honest, I think I just got bad sleep and not enough sleep, more so than it was the sugar. It could also, be placebo that, oh, well, now I'm not eating sugar, so now I have bad sleep. But I was having bad sleep before the challenge, as well. So I have trouble sleeping in general. It says my sleep got better throughout the challenge. Like, I have a running watch, and it started saying I was getting like a lot of deep sleep, which I'd never gotten before. So I was like, whoa, okay. But again, so that could be due to not eating sugar. But again, because my heart rate has gone down a lot. Like my resting heart rate right now is 38. I think before the challenge it was maybe 45. But I think a lot of that also has to do with exercise. Because I started right before the challenge started. I started marathon training and running like, I mean, I was running a lot before the challenge, but I upped it even more. Like in March, I ran 196 kilometers. So it could just be that I'm getting more fit and my resting heart rate is, going down. And also with the sleep thing, another reason I don't think that it's really been impacted by sugar is because, like, obviously the first week there's probably going to be something, and then after 2 weeks I would guess that you're not impacted by sugar anymore, right? But this last week, so week 3 to 4, I've had awful sleep the entire time. So if not eating sugar is supposed to improve your sleep, it didn't work for me. This past week, like all the other variables are out. I'm not drinking caffeine, I'm not eating sugar, I'm just eating very healthy and then just going to bed and I can't sleep. Went to bed at 1 a.m., fell asleep at 5 a.m., and then I woke up early because I couldn't sleep. And then that was the worst day. Then I've had some days that are just, less bad. But generally my sleep is just terrible. I don't know why. It's clearly not sugar related though. So I thought that was important to add to this because I think that's a big one people talk about with sugar and it affecting your sleep. Like no candy before bed or something, no dessert, I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. I could be like an individual that just has bad sleep. Alright, so now food wise, like what I learnt about food basically, because that was the biggest experience with this. I learnt a lot about like eating and stuff, I guess. So I learnt that there is sugar in everything. I knew this already, like most people, if you ask them, they'll know that like, well they should know at least, that like something like ketchup has a lot of sugar in it. That's a fact. Nutella, a lot of sugar. Okay, Nutella's a bad one maybe. But most products have sugar, but I didn't know how bad it was. One of the first days of the no sugar challenge, I went to the supermarket. I needed to make these Taiwanese pancakes, and I needed ham. And I looked in the ham aisle, and all of the ham either had sugar or some word that, like when there's a word you can't pronounce, it's not a good time. Like antioxidant or some, I don't remember it, but like it had artificial sugars in it or like sugar syrups or something, and I'm like, this is ham, it's meat, I don't need sugar. So I couldn't buy ham. There was also chicken, like we're talking about the slices that you would put in toast, also sugar in them. I'm like, okay. I looked at the bacon. Bacon has sugar in it. I don't understand. Like bacon is supposed to be salty, so the added sugar made no sense. And this was like branded bacon, because then I found the cheap bacon and that had no sugar, so I was good. But I was still surprised. And then another day I was making burritos, and I poured out some kidney beans from a can, and then I looked at the contents. There's sugar in the kidney beans. I was like, fuck, I guess I'll give it to my roommate, Sun-dried tomatoes, also sugar. I wanted to make a tonkatsu curry, which I will be making today, now that the challenge is over. And the panko, like the breadcrumbs to fry it in, also had sugar, so couldn't do that. So basically, my experience with food was just that you limit yourself so much by not eating sugar, because I love cooking, so I would look at recipes, I'd be like, oh, this pasta, this Chinese dish, whatever, this looks delicious. What's the recipe? Alright, rice, I have that. Curry powder, I have that. Onions, okay. Sugar. Fuck. Like, that was every recipe essentially. Or it'd be like, I even saw like a sweet and sour pork, no sugar recipe was the title, and I'm like, that's not true, you can't do that. And then I look at the recipe, ketchup. I'm like, okay, well, fuck. Another one I learned early on, this was the only mistake I've made in the challenge. I ate sugar one time by accident. I made my fried rice, used a tablespoon of oyster sauce, and then later on, I checked the oyster sauce, and oyster sauce contains sugar, so that that was a hard pill to swallow. I eat a lot of Chinese food, so not being able to cook with oyster sauce just took like my opportunities of cooking from here to like here. It narrowed the scope a lot. So yeah, oyster sauce was a great loss. But yeah. And then another issue with food is that obviously like my roommate cooks stuff and I'd like to try it and then it's like, well, I can't because it either does contain sugar in it like 100% or he is like, maybe it does, maybe it doesn't, and I'm like, yeah, it probably does. And then also another issue, there's a lot of issues you can hear, is that you can't go out with friends to eat. Like you can't go to a restaurant because it's like assumed that there's sugar in something. Like a burger, pizza, there's going to be some sugar in the tomato sauce or something, you know? Luckily, I don't know if this is lucky, this is like glass half full, but Corona is a thing, and I'm basically in self-quarantine, so I haven't gone out to eat with friends anyway, or I wouldn't have. So, but that also sucks that if you want to live a life of no sugar, it's like, well, you can't eat out. Good luck. So another issue I think about this challenge was the fact that I wrote this on day 18, that I felt like I was craving sugar more, not less. And that was actually super disappointing, not with regards to sugar, but with Pepsi. I thought I was super addicted to Pepsi, and I thought, okay, if I don't drink it for a week or 2 weeks or something, you know, I'll move on. Which I have been drinking 2 or 3 liters of tea every day. I'm on the like green tea train. I'm drinking so much tea, and that's been really good. But I thought that, you know, the desire for Pepsi would go away, but it really hasn't. The entire challenge, I've just been thinking, I want to drink Pepsi. I would like to drink Pepsi. I'm excited to drink Pepsi. And yeah, that's really disappointing for me because that kind of means that, I mean, I obviously can quit because I've done it for a month. I could just continue. But I'm still going to think, like, I would like to drink a Pepsi. So that kind of sucks that you don't get over that. Getting over sugar cravings, I would say I've always had a sweet tooth, and I still do. Like after dinner, there's been times where after I've had dinner, I eat very big portions of dinner. I will eat a very big portion, feel very, very full, and then my sweet tooth hits. And you know how you have a second stomach for dessert? I'm like, okay, I need to eat something sweet. And then I do that. So I definitely do that. However, I wouldn't necessarily say that I've really had those cravings during the challenge. Like I've sort of just eaten dinner and been like, okay. I don't think I've had huge cravings. At least I don't have them now. So maybe I did in the beginning and I just don't remember it. Because now I don't have any cravings. The way I'm eating right now is just late breakfast / lunch and then a dinner and that's it. So yeah. But what I was gonna say, I kind of got off topic. On day 18, I wrote that I think I crave sugar more, not less, because just as a general, not after dinner, but as a general, I feel like restricting yourself and not eating sugar. The only thing I can think of is, like, I look at like Reddit or whatever, and I see brownies, cookies, ice cream, like whatever. Everything looks way more attractive when you can't have it. It's the same as when I went vegan for 1 month as well as like a food challenge. And the second I went vegan, I started looking at recipes and going, fuck, I would like to eat some eggs. Oh, this recipe has eggs. It looks so good. Like, as soon as you can't have something, that's when it becomes like you want it. So with the vegan like thing, I just wanted eggs. And now with the sugar thing, I feel like it just makes me want sugar more because I can't. So there's all these like foods where I'm like, fuck, I'd love that. And that leads to binging, I think. I hope I'm not going to binge when this challenge is done. But if I've restricted myself to sugar for 30 days, 31, and then been like, oh my god, there's so many things I want to eat now. And then I eat like my favorite chips, my favorite ice cream, my favorite chocolate, like one of everything, then that's obviously really bad. So that's not just to the sugar challenge, I think that's diets in general. that if you restrict yourself, then as soon as you're off the diet, you go back to old habits, except probably like 110 or 120%. Like you give it extra because you're more inclined or more excited to eat the food that you missed. So that's something I think that doesn't work with this no sugar. Like it's not sustainable because it just makes you want it more. Another thing I discovered with the food though, which I don't know if I already knew this, but like you definitely do not need sugar in your food to make good food. I was talking to a friend and I think his girlfriend asked, or he asked, he was like, because I was complaining about not being able to cook all these recipes that I was seeing because they had oyster sauce or sugar or something. So I was complaining about that, and then it was like I got asked like, well, what do you eat then? And I'm like, well, I still eat good food. Like I'm eating great food every day, and that's something. Yeah, I've realized you do not need sugar to make good food. For the challenge, I had one day where I had bad food, but it was because it was a shitty recipe. But other than that, I basically ate yummy food like every day. I filmed some of it because I was doing a marathon series, and some of it I have pictures of. I'll try to put pictures somewhere. I'll try put some video while I'm talking maybe. But basically I had like really yummy food. I had like mapo tofu, fried rice, handmade like noodles with chili oil, burrito, what else? Pasta, like just I had really curries. I had really good food. Like it's food that I would make regardless of if I was on a sugar challenge or not, you know? So I don't think that like not eating sugar is an excuse for eating boring food or shitty food. It's kind of like people that say, oh, I don't like vegetables. It's like, well, maybe you're just cooking them wrong, you know? Like vegetables are yummy if you cook them right. Like you can make yummy food without sugar. I think you can do any diet and you can probably find good food in that category. Like if you want to do keto or vegan or whatever you want to do, I think there's good food. Like you just have to know what you're doing, I guess. But yeah, I think that was not a problem. Like I said all the problems with like not going out with friends, not trying food, and limiting recipes. But while you're obviously limited, there's still so much good food. Like you can't complain about eating bad. Then it's just because you're bad at cooking, I guess. I don't know. Alright, so another interesting topic that people probably care about is weight loss because, oh, not eating sugar, you're so healthy, like, you're gonna lose weight, blah blah blah. Which, obviously, if you're not eating sugar, which has a lot of calories, and you're not eating, especially all the general products that could contain sugar, like candy, chocolate, ice cream, whatever, of course you're going to lose weight compared to normal. And even if you're eating normal food, like let's say you'd put ketchup on your burrito, if you're eating a ketchup without sugar, it obviously has less calories. So you are probably bound to lose weight not eating sugar. I think throughout this challenge, I've lost, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 kilos. But that is not, I want to make that clear. That is not because I'm doing a no sugar challenge. I didn't do this for weight loss, first off. And second off, the weight loss is not a result of the no sugar. The reason I've lost weight is because I did the marathon. I'm doing the marathon training. Well, no, it got cancelled, but I'm running a high amount. Like I did 196 kilometers this month, well last month, which is relatively high, you know. And then I was going to the gym as well before the corona lockdown. And now I'm just trying to, get some walking in, do the running. But on top of that, which diet's obviously the most important part, I eat, like I said, I eat a breakfast/lunch at around 12, and then I eat dinner, which my dinner portion is pretty big, and I don't really care what I eat. I don't try to be healthy. I eat what tastes good, but that's all I eat. So and my breakfast lunch is like a small snack. So obviously I'm going to lose weight because I'm not eating much and I'm exercising a bunch. So it has nothing to do with the no sugar aspect. if I wanted to sustain my weight or I wanted to gain weight, I could so easily do it. I made these Taiwanese pancakes that are delicious. I could just eat 2 of them for breakfast instead of 1, and then I could eat another lunch. I could easily eat like so much more. So, yeah, I would say it's more about limiting, calories rather than the sugar, because I could have just eaten a bunch. So that's just something I want to touch on, because people are going to be like, oh, great idea for losing weight, and it's like, yes, but you sort of just have to watch what you eat, I guess. So overall, I want to say that this has been a really positive experience that I would recommend. I feel like I came off with like a lot of negatives, but I would really recommend this to anyone because, okay, so what did I learn? I learned how to read like ingredients lists. I've never done that. I care a little bit about, like, for example, losing weight. So I will check how many calories are in something. And maybe also I care about like how much protein or something. Even sugar, maybe I'll check like, I don't think I've ever done that, but maybe I would check like, oh, this has a lot of sugar, guess I won't have it. But I've never checked an ingredients list. I don't care if like what the ingredients are. If it says it's a tomato sauce, I assume it's got tomatoes in it. But this has made me a lot better at checking the ingredients list. There was also a point where I wanted to know if I could eat mayonnaise. So I looked it up, and there was this fancy branded one. I don't remember the brand. And I was like, okay. And then it contained sugar, and it contained like 10 other things that I didn't even like know the words of. And I was like, okay. Then I checked the private label supermarket brand, and it didn't contain sugar, and it didn't contain all the other crap. So basically, when you're paying for a branded product, which is supposed to be, like, in my mind, I would consider like, oh, private label, it's some cheap shit. This brand is probably like higher quality, tastes better. But actually that was not the case. The branded one was obviously lower quality because it has more random garbage in it, and then it has sugar to make it taste better, I guess. And it was the same with the bacon I mentioned earlier. The branded product had sugar in it. The private label home brand one was just bacon. So that is something I've learned, that in the future, I'm definitely, if there's 2 alternatives and they're like equal price-ish, then I'm definitely going to check like the ingredients list and be like, well, I might as well buy this one because it's better for you. Like, why not? If they're the same price. Or even like with private label stuff, the private label like mayo is cheaper than the branded one. It's cheaper and healthier, so it's like, okay, sure. So I learned to look at labels and ingredients lists, and then overall I've also just like, I've felt good. Again, I don't know how much of it is to do with no sugar and how much of it is just to do with like, I'm eating decently and I'm exercising and stuff. So, but overall I feel good. So it's definitely something you could do because it's not going to make you feel bad. It's not like doing a Snickers challenge where it's like, well, I felt like shit. Like, at worst, I feel just as good as I would with sugar. But at best, I feel better. So, there's no reason not to try it, I guess. But yeah, I feel great, but it could be due to exercise or other variables. With that said, though, I want to eat sugar again. So I have a Pepsi Max, first one in a month. This is like the most exciting thing for me. I don't care about like anything else. And then there's a bunch of recipes that while I've been stuck in this like no sugar, I've looked at a lot of recipes that I want to cook. So cooking, like actual dinner, is going to be great. I'm making the curry today. And drinking Pepsi is going to be great. And then, this is going from one thing to another, but this is going to be our breakfast. I have a Ben & Jerry's peanut butter cup. Right before the challenge started, I ate Ben & Jerry's, and we're going to end it with that. So, maybe not the healthiest breakfast, especially coming off no sugar, but yeah. It's actually 2 p.m. now, and I haven't had anything to eat so we're gonna eat this. And it's gonna be yummy. Alright, I just put it in a bowl because I don't necessarily want to eat all of it in one go. It's already melting, so, because I had it out while I was filming. We're gonna give this a go. Peanut butter cup. Mmm. It is very sweet. I wonder if it's sweeter because I haven't had sugar in a month. Like, if the taste is enhanced, or if it would taste, it's also very cold, or if it would taste just as sweet if, you know, if I ate like a Ben & Jerry's yesterday and I ate another one today. It is very, very good. I'm sorry you're just watching a guy eat Ben & Jerry's, but this is living. This is why you shouldn't do the no sugar challenge. I take back all of my, everything I said about it being a positive experience, forget about it. Alright. I am actually more excited about this than Ben & Jerry's, to be honest with you. Are you ready? I tried going to the supermarket and buying something that wasn't water to drink. And like everything has sugar in it, so I've just been drinking tea and water. Ready for this sound. Oh. Beautiful. This actually tastes weird compared, now I just ate ice cream as well, but I feel like the Pepsi taste is very, like Ben & Jerry's, I'm instantly back on it, but the Pepsi taste is a bit weird. It tastes very fizzy and strange. That's actually, that is insight I didn't expect to gain. I thought I'd just be back on the Pepsi wagon. I'm very, very intrigued by this. Maybe because this is a German can, but I was drinking German cans before. Maybe I have to try a bottle. I'm so confused. This is really weird. Because it just tastes like really strange fizz compared to like how I remember. This is so weird because I hate people that make YouTube videos like this where they're obviously lying, or it's like they're obviously saying like playing it up for the camera to like sound smart or sound interesting. But I genuinely feel like I'm having a moment where it's tasting weird. Like, it doesn't taste good in the same way as before. It tastes like a weird fizzy. It's not the way I've been looking forward to it for a month. That is super strange. I'm really weirded out now. That was like the least expected thing to happen. I'm just looking at this can. I don't get it. Alright, I'm gonna stop filming now. Maybe I'll update you if I get addicted to Pepsi again. But this was a strange experience I didn't expect to have. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the challenge, video, whatever. If you watched to the end, that's crazy. It's been a long one. I appreciate it. But yeah, I recommend you try this yourself. It's a good time. And yeah, I'm done. Peace. Alright, so update. 1, Ben & Jerry's was the most delicious thing I've eaten in a long time. Holy shit, like, it was so sweet and so nice. I was gonna eat half of it. I think I ate a little more than half. And then, this is where it gets bad. Okay, so first off, it was the only thing I've eaten since 6 p.m. yesterday, and I ate it at 2 p.m. I got very full, which, I mean, it is a lot of ice cream, I guess, still, but I got very full. And then I had these crazy sugar cravings. Like, I guess that's how you really know what sugar cravings are, by just not having them for a month. So basically, I ate it, put it back in the freezer, I ate it out of the bowl, and then I had to go to the shops, and then I was like, fuck, I need to eat some more. And then I took a spoonful more out of the container. And then I went to the shops and I thought about it. I'm like, holy shit, I want to eat the rest. But it's like, it's ridiculous. I'm not eating the rest of the ice cream when I literally have a stomach ache. Like, I am clearly full. There is no reason to keep eating. But, which I also do that with regular food if it's tasty. So that's not just sugar, but anyway. But yeah, I got very full, which I don't know about. And then I had those sugar cravings. I haven't had that for a month. Like, I really wanted to just eat all of it. And I really felt like, you know, for every like spoon you eat, you want to eat another one. Like, you want more. That's like, I don't know how to describe it other than that. That's a feeling that I haven't had in a month. Because like I said, like after dinner and stuff, I'd be a bit hungry. Like maybe I'd want something. But nothing compares to this. Like the way of like wanting to eat more, I don't know. And then I went to the shops and bought like stuff for dinner. And I don't know why, like a 2-liter bottle was cheaper than a 1.5. So I bought a bottle of Pepsi because I need to debunk this. Because the can I had tasted very weird. So, let's see, maybe I'm just fucked. Maybe, like, soft drinks just taste weird now. And I'm gonna be the guy that drinks, tea. I've also found I really like rice milk, by the way. Rice milk is so good. Like, I'm not a milk guy. I always thought it was weird when you went to someone's house, like, and their parents are like, oh, we're having milk with our dinner. And I'm like, I don't know about that one. So I'm not a milk guy, but rice milk is really, really yummy. I've been drinking that a lot. Alright, let's try this glass of Pepsi. I'm the sort of person that says there's a difference between cans and bottles. I think cans taste better, but I don't know about those cans. I don't know, but no, it really just does not taste as good. I might have killed my addiction from 5 cans a day to thinking it doesn't taste that good. Alright, 100% by the way, this footage, I'm gonna get re-addicted. I feel like it's gonna happen. I feel like there's no way I can stop. But this is definitely the closest I've ever been, because it just tastes really fizzy and then it has a strange taste. Kind of like sparkling water. I've never liked sparkling water. This is the same, but with taste. It's like weird. It could just be that I haven't had any fizzy drinks, so like I'm not used to that. Like, I don't know. It's weird. This is really strange for me. It's like, oh. I don't get it. It's kind of like, you know, you can do that prank. I don't actually know if it works, but I've heard it works. Where you tell someone you're giving them a glass of milk, and then you give them orange juice, and then because there's a disconnect in the brain between what it thinks it's getting and what it gets, it tastes disgusting, and you like vomit, supposedly. And you can do that with a lot of food. There's a lot of times where you think you're getting one thing, and if you get something else, it tastes completely off because your brain just can't like handle that reaction. And I feel like that's what's happening here. Like, I have a memory of Pepsi from 1 month ago, how it tastes and, you know, how I like Pepsi. And now I'm drinking it, and it doesn't taste the way I remember it or the way my brain wants it to taste. It just tastes strange. That's okay. Anyway, I hate doing these outros after the outro. We're done here. Sugar challenge was a success. It was fun. I got good food. I learned stuff, and I might have killed Pepsi for myself. I don't know about that. That's weird. All right, peace.